America, America, make God thy gold refined till all success be nobleness and ever again divine. And you know, when I was in school, we used to sing it something like this. Listen here. Oh, beautiful, far spacious skies.
Hello and welcome back to Wayland Weekly Buzz. I'm your host, Ken Isaacson. Today we begin our 5th year of broadcasting of the Buzz, and we're very excited to have reached this milestone. As we kick off the new season, we have a lot of town government business to talk about. We're going to bring you up to date on a number of key developments. We'd also been scheduled to have an interview today with School Superintendent Dr. Arthur Yanofsky and School Committee Chair Gene Downs, but there was a last-minute scheduling problem. We'll have that interview next week when they bring us up to speed on school-related issues, including the effects of new school start times, reactions to the EEE threat, sports field construction, the World Language Program, and more. Now, before we get to town government reports, I want to make a special announcement. The Buzz needs your help. We want to add a third host to our show. We want to do an even better job of communicating everything that's happening in Wayland. So if you or someone you know would be interested in joining us, please let us know. The right person will be interested in town government, want to bring that information to viewers, and be comfortable in front of a camera. A writing, editing, or communications background would be a plus, but it's not mandatory. If interested, send us an email at waylandweeklybuzz@gmail.com. Okay, now here's what's been happening at recent board and committee meetings. And as usual, we'll begin with the Selectmen. At their August 26th meeting, Town Administrator Louise Miller reported on a number of items. State-ordered mediation regarding open meeting law violations was ordered by the state earlier this year because of multiple town board violations. The process began earlier this month. It involves the Selectmen, Conservation Commission, Personnel Board, and the Zoning Board. The town has introduced new procurement procedures and is communicating their usage with staff. The new procedures are a result of the town working to be in compliance on various projects. The town administrator reported that the town is behind schedule for its annual financial audits. Additional work was needed on its cash reconciliation. The audit began in the 3rd week of September. And on the CAS litigation, the town received a motion that it pay for attorney's fees and damages on the whistleblower claim, and has responded opposing the awards. I posted those documents on our website, waycam.tv/buzz. More recently, the Selectmen began its September 9th meeting with executive sessions regarding the town's issue with 20 Wayland LLC, regarding the property due the town at the Town Center development, regarding real estate at the River's Edge project, and regarding collective bargaining on health insurance payroll deductions with the Teachers Association, Secretaries Association, Food Service Association, and Custodians Local. At 7:15, they adjourned to the Financial Summit in the large hearing room. I'll report on that in a minute. Next on the agenda was a general discussion with the Surface Water Quality Committee. This year, SWQC had an expended $60,000 for herbicide treatment and $23,000 for tape grass harvesting in Dudley Pond. That would not have been possible on their annual budget of about $46,000, and the committee is not allowed to carry over budget from one year to the next. Fortunately, they had accumulated enough to do the herbicide treatment from the 25% cost sharing provided by the Dudley Pond Association. The committee expressed their gratitude to Elizabeth Doucette for her guidance in working through all the contracting issues, which helped reduce water testing costs. On a related topic, the town administrator believes that SWQC could use an alternative funding mechanism which would let them carry over funds for specific purposes, and they will follow up on that. SWQC discussed how to best manage tape grass in Dudley Pond in future years. They suggested that the town might want to have its own small harvester under the DPW, which would be used in Herd Pond for water chestnuts and milfoil, in Dudley Pond for milfoil, tape grass, and curly leaf pondweed, in North Pond of Lake Cochituate for milfoil, and possibly in the Sudbury River. The committee will look into this possibility. The committee was advised that when members of a committee live on or near water bodies they support, or does fundraising on behalf of a municipal project, they should fill out standard disclosure forms from the state to avoid any conflicts of interest. The next item on the agenda was the Council on Aging Community Center project. They've been receiving pressure lately from interested residents about the urgency of moving forward. After some discussion, the Selectmen decided that they will be looking at creating an RFP process, that's request for proposal, to acquire space for a Council on Aging Community Center. It's not clear at this point whether the town would be looking to lease space or purchase or build. The town administrator advised that there's not much funding available for any of these choices. It will require a fair amount of analysis to determine how to proceed, and they would like to bring a proposal to annual town meeting in April 2020. It was reported that there was vandalism on 2 occasions at the Oxbow Meadows. This included vandalism of the irrigation system 2 weekends in a row and a spray painting incident. Video surveillance and signage are now in place, and there have been no further incidents. On September 9th, the town held a financial summit. It was led by Finance Director and Town Administrator, with the Selectmen and Finance Committee in attendance. Thanks to the work of the Finance Committee, Town Administrator, and Finance Director, this year our AAA bond rating was upgraded to stable, and the town has what is described as a stable long-term liability outlook. The town has tightened up its fiscal management commitments in order to return to structurally balanced operations. This means using only recurring revenue for recurring expenses. We will also increase our available fund balances as a percentage of revenue by making conservative revenue assumptions and controlling expenditures. Overall, it was reported that Wayland has a stable long-term outlook. And regarding pension obligations, a big issue in recent years, residents were told we can reach our goal of having pension fully funded by 2035 and OPEB by 2039. We will have a 5-year capital plan rather than a 1-year rolling plan. That means a 5-year financial plan for capital and a 5-year plan for anticipated projects. The FY21 estimated committed cost increase is about $3 million. You'll find the entire presentation on our website at wacam.tv/buzz. At the last planning board meeting, there were 2 main items to discuss. One was a review of last year's decision by planning board to allow parking along Route 126 for members of the congregation or a TID during special events. With the Jewish high holidays coming at the end of September, last year's arrangement had worked out. There were a few complaints from people living in the area, but nothing major, and the complaints were referred back to the police department for procedural review. The other item was an informal discussion of a proposed 2-lot subdivision at 81 West Plain Street in Cochituate. The home, which sits on 2.1 acres, was recently sold. Abutting the rear of the property is St. Zephyr's Cemetery. No formal proposal has yet been made. At their September 3rd meeting, the Board of Public Works did an update with the town administrator and assistant town administrator on the status and timetable of the automatic meter reading equipment project. The project had finally been approved at last town meeting. The town administrator recommended separate procurements for each of the three aspects of the project, but the board is concerned that three separate procurements might lead to complex installation and shakedown issues and finger pointing if the parts are not well integrated. A final decision on the process is pending. Another project was discussed at this meeting, one unresolved since 2015. The Department of Public Works lost its 4-acre laydown area when that land was sold to develop River's Edge. At the time, the Selectmen said they would assist in the development of a replacement laydown area. Since then, the DPW has created a small 3/4 of an acre laydown area behind the transfer station, which is woefully short of the previous 4 acres. 2 years ago, the Board of Public Works and the DPW began exploring repurposing the land on the south side of Route 20 as a laydown area, the old Wayland dump across from the transfer station and the former septic facility. DPW created a preliminary design combining a parking area for school buses and a laydown materials storage area. They also held discussions with the DEP about repurposing the land. Then Recreation and Planning raised possible other issues, and although Public Works and DPW have been trying to get the town to restart discussions so they can have the land they were promised, they're concerned there's less immediacy now that a temporary solution to the school bus parking has been found. The school buses will use the promised land. Meanwhile, the town loses opportunity costs and hauling expenses grow, and DPW is left with no solution. For more details, see pages 4 and 5 of the River's Edge resolution document on our website. And congratulations to the Dudley Woods community. The long-awaited Dudley Woods Trails off Route 27 near Dudley Pond had a grand opening celebration on September 21st. Residents are invited to check out the new addition to Wayland's recreational opportunities. The big news from the trustees of the Wayland Free Public Library is that the Teen Loft is now finished and furnished. An opening was held on September 19th to introduce the space to teens and their families and the general public. This is a long-needed space to gather and study once teens outgrow the children's room. That's on the second floor mezzanine above the circulation desk. The space is available to all during school hours, but dedicated to our teen population and reserved for their use during after-school, vacation, and weekend hours. One middle school, high school bus is now scheduled to make an after-school stop at the library. All students need is a bus pass. Details are available at the 2 schools. And the library reports there's a new nationwide program for engaging teens in the arts and civic life. The For Freedom 50 State Initiative provides a national platform for greater participation in the arts and in civil society. Pam McEwen, head of Youth Services, is responsible for bringing this program to Wayland. As one component of their work, For Freedoms invites communities across the country to engage in community dialogue. The program is specifically for teens to communicate their world and hopes for the future to all, and especially to elected officials. The program's purpose is to amplify the voices and concerns of teens. If you see lawn signs proclaiming those teen hopes around town, you'll know what it's all about. Our last report is from the town's Energy and Climate Committee. At that meeting, Police Chief Patrick Swanick, along with Martin Pillsbury of the Metropolitan Area Planning Council, described the ongoing process to update Wayland's hazard mitigation plan. The state requires this to be done every 5 years to be eligible for MEMA and FEMA funds in the event of a disaster. They're now considering what changes should be done to that existing plan. A draft plan will be presented to the public at a meeting to be announced. Questions should be directed to Martin Pillsbury. His email address is mpillsbury@mapc.org, or Chief Patrick Swanick, pswanick@wayland.ma.us, and that's one N in Swanick. A ribbon cutting for the Energy Resilience Initiative was held on September 17th at the middle school. It serves as the town's emergency shelter. It will now receive backup power from the existing solar arrays. Advanced controls link the solar arrays with the school and its standby diesel generator to boost Wayland's emergency resilience, extend on-site fossil fuel supplies, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The Metropolitan Area Planning Council helped Wayland secure a grant from the Commonwealth to fund major project costs. The committee continues to investigate possibilities for community solar, where homeowners do not have good opportunities for rooftop solar, can buy into a large array and benefit from the reduced costs and energy savings from solar. Currently, 2 companies are doing this and have some space available: Borrego Solar, Borrego, and Community Choice Energy. Interested residents should contact the companies directly. Mass Energize Wayland is working on ways Wayland residents can take direct action to save energy and reduce their carbon footprint. Current initiatives are encouraging residents to consider air source heat pumps and food waste collection programs. Visit their website for more information. That's energizewayland.org/about. The committee is investigating electricity aggregation for Wayland. The town would buy green electricity that includes buying in bulk for residents in a greater percentage of renewable energy than standard service. Over 140 other towns have done this already, and residents may later opt out. There is an example of how Newton is doing it at the website masspowerchoice.com/Newton. And all of these things will be on our website. And finally, the committee has received a grant of $4,500 in technical assistance from MAPC to evaluate Wayland's energy use and look for new reduction potential. The grant will also fund assistance in investigating new grant opportunities and helping with grant assembly for the state's annual competitive Green Communities Grant. Wayland has received Green Communities grants 3 times in amounts up to $250,000. These have funded Wayland's streetlight conversion to LEDs, energy efficiency upgrades to municipal schools and buildings, and electric cars and chargers at the town building, among other things. So those are our committee reports. We'll be back next week with our originally scheduled interview about the schools. Remember, The Buzz airs on Sundays and Tuesdays at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. on your public cable channel, Comcast Channel 8 and Verizon Channel 37. And we're online on demand anytime at our website, waycam.tv/buzz. There you'll find an archive of past programs and a schedule of upcoming shows, along with links to documents from subjects presented on the shows. And you'll find a transcript of this week's interview, along with our committee reports, every week in the Town Crier, both in print and online. If you have a town issue you'd like discussed on The Buzz, call us, email us, or use the contact form on our website. Tell us what's on your mind, what you think about the show. And remember, if you know somebody who'd like to be a host on the show, have them get in touch with us. I'm Ken Isaacson. On behalf of the entire volunteer crew and guests here on Wayland Weekly Buzz, thank you for watching, and please tell your friends to tune in too.
The buzz, tell me what's happening, what's the buzz? 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 Tell me what's happening.